We know the world's richest man, Elon Musk, owns Twitter nowadays, but this week he also well and truly owned the BBC after this train wreck of an interview with the BBC's James Clayton.
Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
you can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that feed anymore. Because I just don't particularly like it.
But you said
a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second.
my
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example. Not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
well, then how did you see that hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
You can't give a single one.
And I'm saying...
Then I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes.
Douglas, do you think the BBC learned anything from that humiliation, or are they just going to double down on their hate speech disinformation?
It was an extraordinary interview, wasn't it, Rita? I mean, an absolutely extraordinary interview. The BBC has some fine journalists in it still. It certainly has historically had some of the best interviewers in the world. I don't think that a Jeremy Paxman or an Andrew Neil would have ever have gone into an interview like this so completely unprepared as this man Clayton did. He seemed to have no facts at his fingertips. And if you're going to interview the world's richest man, one of the most interesting people on the planet, who's doing some of the most fascinating and groundbreaking work of anyone on planet Earth, you ought to go in with more than, oh, I've heard about hatey words. I mean, there's something sort of totally pathetic and nursery kindergarten about this, isn't there? This sort of, oh, I have a narrative about hatey words and I'm going to stick to it. And, oh, I don't have any examples, but then who cares? This journalist in question actually did a thread on Twitter about all the stories that had been reported by the New York Times and the usual list of media on the back of the interview. And he completely buried the lead. The lead was that he himself knew nothing and was exposed by Elon Musk during the interview for knowing nothing. You know, this guy didn't even ask Elon Musk about the Twitter files, about what had been unearthed since Elon Musk bought Twitter, or why Twitter was so successful after Elon Musk fired so many of the staff, in fact, more successful. This is just an example of the way in which sections of the mainstream media adopt a narrative, stick with it, even in the face of the facts. And they turn out to have no facts themselves, and then they sort of resent it when somebody else has facts and calls them out on it. I thought it was an utterly pathetic interview. I was embarrassed for him as a journalist, and I was embarrassed as a British person to see somebody of this sort of kindergarten level trying to play in the big boys' field. It was just embarrassing.
It was embarrassing, and the arrogance to go into that interview so unprepared. You are dealing with a man, whatever you think of him, who's the world's richest man, he's wildly successful, and it seemed to have no respect for that. I think he thought, I'm the smartest man in the room and I'm going to show up Elon Musk, and that is not what happened. Douglas Murray, you're always the smartest man in the room. Thank you so much for joining me today.
It's a great pleasure as always.